Last year, our plant became part of a large production association in the Kaliningrad region that produces medical drugs. We got new orders, and we expanded production. For this purpose, it was necessary to purchase equipment for automatic application of labels on glass ampoules. We use various pharmaceutical equipment complying with requirements and standards of GMP to manufacture products. Unit for dehydration of water solutions and extracts in a boiling bed apparatus, rotary tablet machines, automatic line for packing tablets into plastic film and foil, and other high-tech machines and devices. I have worked at the plant for over 30 years, 15 of them as chief engineer. I know all the production facilities at the plant well. There has been virtually no modernization at our plant, and after the accession we had the opportunity to update the production equipment. At a meeting on the development of production, I was tasked to find and buy a labeling machine, which is used for labeling labels in automatic and semi-automatic mode on pharmaceutical and medicinal products. The labeling machine was planned to be placed in the penicillin production area. We were looking for modern equipment that could be controlled by an LCD screen. We planned to purchase automatic labeling equipment for applying self-adhesive labels to 10 milliliters ampoules, with a capacity of 5,000 ampoules per working shift. I have a lot of acquaintances in the manufacturing industry. So, the first thing I did was to ask them for advice on finding automatic equipment for self-adhesive labels for glass ampoules. I understood that the sphere of production of my colleagues is different from the sphere of our enterprise, but they could recommend me good producers of equipment, which I could turn to for help in choosing of a machine. My colleagues recommended 2 manufacturers in Germany. I found their details on the internet and sent them an email asking them to match my requirements. After 2 days I got a reply from one company saying that they had a machine for gluing labels to glass ampoules, with specified technical parameters, but it was only suitable for plastic ampoules. Another company refused to work with us, as they don't work with CIS countries. On the same advice of colleagues, I did not contact Chinese manufacturers directly. My acquaintances told me that equipment manufacturers from China often supply incomplete equipment, citing inaccurate information about the required parameters of the machine. I could not take that risk, so I decided to choose a Russian-speaking intermediary to search for automatic equipment for gluing labels to glass ampoules. I needed a professional who had been working for a long time in the field of supplying pharmaceutical equipment and had positive customer feedback. I started my search for a specialist on the internet. I chose 3 of the most presentable companies. As a criterion, I looked at the time the company has been on the equipment supply market, the company's website, the terms of delivery of the machine. I called to all the companies by phone in order to be sure of the manager's professionalism. The specialist of one company said to wait for 5 minutes, but never listened to me. I didn't like this attitude to the customer. The manager of another company talked to me politely, asked questions about the necessary performance equipment, terms of production. In 5 days I got 10 variants of various labeling machines from them, and the offer to choose the equipment by myself. I realized that they didn't have a professional approach, and would not help me in my decision to find equipment for labeling. The last, third option of an intermediary turned out to be a good one for me. The male manager talked to me like a professional. He asked me specific questions about production capacity, material of the ampoules used, accuracy of marking. He chose a machine for gluing self-adhesive labels on glass ampoules during consultation, which I was able to quickly negotiate with the company management. The equipment was acceptable in terms of features and price. We concluded a contract for the supply of equipment within a week. The manager reported the degree of readiness of the machine 2 weeks in advance. The machine was delivered exactly at the end of a month. After installation and adjustment of the equipment, we were able to evaluate its quality. There is an automatic system for horizontal feeding of the bottles on the conveyor belt. The system switches on automatically and pulls the label from the roll and presses the label. Photoelectronic control elements, precision labeling, automatic control of the missing label. The system of pressing the label to the surface of the ampoule avoids air bubbles. Feeding labels from the roll by electric stepper motor. The machine has the function of printing series, number and production date. We were satisfied with the automatic equipment for attaching self-adhesive labels to glass ampoules recommended and supplied by the manager of this company. Once again, I was convinced that any business needs professional advice. In this respect, I was lucky. I found a specialist who knows his business.